Hi, and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the arse of the subscription button as well. And don't forget to share the video as far and wide as you can. This will help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote the channel more. If you would like to support the channel and help make it grow, any and all donations can be made to paypal.me/cryptidsroost and will be most gratefully received. If you enjoyed listening to the following story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below, and don't forget to check out our merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send me an email with a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. And if you're going to leave a dislike, please leave a comment as to why. That way I can review what you didn't like and I can possibly make future changes in other upcoming videos. Thank you. And finally, have you written a creepypasta story you would like me to narrate? Have you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters? You can submit your stories and encounters to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And if you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All the links are listed below. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. I hunt cryptids for a living. It's harder than you think. Part 4. This fantastic story is written by Nomad6555, a wonderful author over on Reddit's Nosleep subreddit. So, my call was a little different tonight. First of all, Jerry said that I now had a partner. His name is Javier. He can explain his backstory. He'll be there in 10 minutes. Hang on, Jerry. You know I work alone. I don't do partners.
You do now.
Fuck. Fine. What's my assignment?
You have 2 again tonight. First, there's a herd of Wendigo hunting tourists around the Winchester, Virginia area. Second, well, this is an unusual one.
Jerry chuckled.
A sex robot went rampant. It's killed its owner by strangling it between its legs during a 69 maneuver. It was last spotted around the Sharpsburg area in Maryland.
Jerry, you realise I work in cryptid interventions, not killing sex workers, right?
Hey, whatever it takes to make money, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Wait for Javier, then set out.
Copy that. Javier arrived about 5 minutes later. A 2019 Dodge Ram 3500 turbo diesel painted cherry red rolled into my driveway. Rich boy. This guy clearly had no idea what he needed to hunt cryptids. The truck was fully stocked. No reinforced windows, no cast iron bumped, no iron laced tyres, nothing. That truck was like a soda can to any cryptid. A Mexican man in his early 20s stepped out of the truck. He was about 6 foot even, probably 170 pounds, with a mullet, a thick moustache, and a Glock 17 on his hip. He was wearing a pair of black jeans, a white t-shirt, and a pair of Carolina boots. He had a pair of Oakley sunglasses covering his eyes. "You must be Kyle," he said while approaching me.
Yeah, you must be Javier, I replied.
"The one and only." He had a thick, and I mean a thick, South American accent.
"This your truck?"
I said, pointing to it. "Yeah, you like her?" "Oh yeah, I love her. But we're going to take my truck if you don't want it smashed up like a beer can. Might want to get it kitted similar to mine." I pointed to Stacy. Dents in the side, a broken headlight, and dried blood on the bumper spikes from the key loot made her look much more able for the job than Pretty Boy's truck. "Fine, let's take the piece of shit." At this, I got up and punched him in the gut. He got up and went for his gun, but I had mine off my hip first, and at the sound of the hammer being cocked back, for dramatic effect, he raised his hands. "Don't make fun of another man's truck, Javier." He gave me a shit-eating grin and laughed. So did I. I helped him up and we got into Stacy and started her. "So, Javier, what do you want to see first? A rampant sex robot or a herd of Wendigo?" He looked taken back. Robot, please. I'm not too fond of Wendigo." "Robot it is." After driving for a few minutes, I worked up the courage to ask Javier about his past. "So what's your story, Javier?" "Well, I used to be a cartel leader for El Chapo. Then my partner betrayed me. She reported me to the police. She took our kids. She killed our son and sold our daughter into trafficking. I hunted her down. I posed as a Bolivian ambassador and got her into bed without her recognizing me. I chloroformed her, threw her out to the window, and jumped out after her, put her in my cartel car, and drove away. I chopped her head off a few minutes later in the middle of the desert and left her to rot." Did you ever find your daughter?" "Yeah, she was bought by a few FBI agents who had the goal of freeing as many trafficking victims as possible. They freed her back into my custody until they found out about my past. They took her away and imprisoned me. I broke out by strangling the guard on duty with my handcuffs. I shot and killed everyone in the compound, including my twin brother, who'd been in prison for cartel affiliation. I placed my ID in his pocket and ran." "Holy shit, you're a badass, man. How did they not realize that the body wasn't you?" "The cartel requires members to burn off their fingers and toe prints so they can't be identified if imprisoned." "So your ex-partner, she was your girlfriend?" "No, amigo. She was my wife. I will never understand why she killed our son. I don't think I want to look into someone that insane." "Holy shit, man. I'm sorry." "Nah, it's fine. It doesn't bother me as much anymore. Enough about me. What is your backstory, compadre?" I outlined to him the story of my past, which I told all in my previous post, along with some details that I left out in that post, which I would like to continue to leave out for now, as they involve my child. I may tell someday. "Wow, so this Cryptex really does take in criminals like us," Javier said when I was finished. We arrived in the Sharpsburg area a short while later. It wasn't hard to find the robot. She didn't go far from her previous residence. I pulled out my revolver, lead bullets in it this time, and held it at the ready. "Put your hands up, ma'am." She turned around. "Why? I accidentally killed my owner. Everyone thinks I've done it on purpose. What reason do I have to live?" "Shoot me, sir. Please." "We aren't going to shoot you, ma'am. Put your hands up." How this thing was sentient with feeling of regret I had no clue, but I was willing to bring her in or kill her, either one. "Fine," she said, slowly raising her hands. I handcuffed her. "Valerie of Sexter Corp, you're under arrest for the murder of Jonathan Rogers. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you by the state of Maryland. Do you have any questions?" "No." "Good. I just arrested a sex robot." I called the police and left her chained to the front porch, and we left. Two criminals have no business in an arrest. We began driving to Winchester, talking about who we thought was going to win the 2020 elections. I thought Trump. Javier thought Warren. Guess we'll have to see who won that. We arrived at the location and met a park ranger who took us to the location of the disappearance. I knew exactly where the Wendigo lair was from the stench of rot coming from the cave, about 100 yards away from the disappearance site. I told the park ranger to wait wherever he was, which he gladly did, and Javier and I went in. The cave wasn't very deep. We got to the back of it. There were 4 Wendigo feasting on 7 bodies, all clearly campers. I had a full cylinder of gnat rounds, 6 shots,
Javier had his magazine full of nat rounds. His finger fondled the trigger of his Glock. The gun was clearly comfortable in his hands. I tried not to think about how people have died at the hands of this man. I was no clean slate, but he's killed at least 100 more people than I. That scared me. We opened fire on the Wendigo herd. My first bullet caught the Alpha in the head, killing him instantly. Javier caught one in the genitals. It bellowed in pain. My second bullet caught another one in the chest, blowing a hole the size of a potato through it, killing it. Javier had a sadistic grin on his face while shooting to wound. He was enjoying their pain. This sick fuck was enjoying their pain. He had shot the same one 3 times now, in the lower body. I shot the third one after it started to run at us. It died immediately. I had hit it in the head as well. Javier was still shooting the same Wendigo, torturing it. I shot it in the head. Javier, why the fuck weren't you shooting to kill? These bastards deserve pain, and you know it, Kyle. Shoot to kill next time. Yes, sir. I called in Jerry. He sent the cleanup crew. I had $500 wired to my account. Javier had $450 wired to his. We went home. Javier got into his truck and drove home after a quick goodbye. And here I am, telling those of you who care for my experiences. Stay safe, kids. This is Carl Reitinger, signing off.